This is my projection. It's 1232. I've written it down here. My next sale, which is the next one, will be $12,358.74. Again, 1232, 1231, whatever. It's for 10/9/2022. I'm going there right now. It's in Greenwood, as you can clearly see. That's where I'm headed. So, we'll see what happens. But that's the projection. So we're going to try this one more time. Now, at the very beginning of this video, you saw a video of me essentially not guessing, but projecting the amount of money that I wanted to make at a customer's place. The video again is on manifestation, and what's going on, you saw a video of me projecting the amount of money that I wanted to make as I was going to a customer's home. Now there's a lot of variables involved in that. There's over 50 variables involved in, if you want to call it guessing, because it's not guessing, it's projecting. Projecting is coming up with a number, and then reality adapts to the number that you come up with. Not trying to predict what happens in the future, but make what happens in the future, okay? So, now, open manifestation, which is mostly what the New Age people talk about, is the whole process of basically putting up a projection of what you want to happen in the future, and then you wish for it to happen, you manifest, you visualize, and then supposedly make it happen. Well, the difference between what I do and what they do is the fact that I work hard for my goals. I make a goal, and then I work hard to push that goal into fruition. And I'm using my energy, my work ethic, and who I am to bring that into reality. All right, so you have to be the type of person that is willing to put your energy, your dedication, and your hard work into it, because that is what's paying for your manifestation to come into fruition, into reality. Well, what a lot of people don't understand is that manifestation can also be extremely dangerous if you don't work at it, if you do not put your time, your dedication, and then actually bring it to fruition in a way that is done with, by the ethic, by hard work. So what a lot of people are doing out there, what the law of attraction teaches, is that, you bring it to you by thinking about it, visualizing it, and then it just happens. Well, is it possible that that works? Yeah, it's possible that it works. I know for a fact that it does. Now, when I did what I did the other day, I came within a 0.001% deviation of being absolutely correct. Okay, so we're just checking to see where we're at here. So anyway, I came within a 0.001% deviation of being correct. I did that 3 times in a row. And so on the 3rd time, I decided to film it because I was like, no one's going to believe it if I just say that I did it. No one's going to believe that I was able to come that close if I just said, hey, this is what happened, and then I got these sales. So instead, and I made sure to send it to my boss too, something I made sure my boss saw. So, as you see in the video, what I did was I projected it, I went there, then I sold it. My brain was able to calculate all those variables, even though I had not even been on the customer's property yet. And like I said, over 50 variables, I came up with what I wanted to make out of that situation. I came up with the idea of how many miles I drove, how much time that I thought I was going to spend, and my brain comes up with a figure, and the figure that ends up getting sold magically is, again, within a 0.001% deviation of being absolutely correct. But these are sales, not like $5 sales, $10 sales. We're talking about over $10,000 sales. That was a groundhog or what the heck, muskrat, or?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see that? Anyway, so now let's get into, and as you saw, it was, my accuracy is impeccable, okay? But again, if you do not put your energy into it, if you do not put your time, your dedication, your work ethic into it, and work for these things to happen, then you are playing a game of Russian roulette with yourself, because basically what's going on is if you get these things out of sheer will and manifestation, it's tacked on to your metaphysical bill. All right? It goes right there onto your IP address, your personal IP address, and you will be billed for it. And it can come out of you in many different ways. So, an example that I've told before that I think it's important for you guys to hear is the time when I first showed my first apprentice about manifestation and how accurate and awesome it can be. Okay? And so when I first started teaching him, I have a whole different teaching method now, but when I first started teaching him, I did a whole lot of showing off, and I was irresponsible with the way that I did things. And so I was just moving into this apartment, and I told my apprentice that I was going to fill up the apartment within the end of the week with all the goods that an apartment would have, plus a drum set, and I would be able to not only fill up the apartment, but with the best of the best things, stuff that I really liked. And there was only 2 exceptions in that, and that 2 of the things that we'd gotten were at the IU Surplus Center, which, you know, was old stuff, but I still have that stuff, and it's still durable and good. Nonetheless, an IU Surplus Center, by the way, what it is it's a place where you can get a bunch of used goods that come off of the IU campus, Indiana University campus. So you pay a small fee and you get all of this stuff. It's kind of like a garage sale, except it's a perpetual one. Well, I told, like I said, my apprentice that I was going to get a drum set. Told him I was going to get a couch, a brand new television, and that I wasn't going to pay a dime for it, okay? And that it would all come to me versus me going to it. And I said, by the end of this week, you will see I'll get everything that I want. Sure enough, that comes to fruition. Even all the way down to getting the drum set with brand spanking new tags still on it. Oh, we're going to have to go to the left, but we'll probably have to get that one to the left. Okay, so now, and what was interesting is this drum set, it again was brand new. It was a brand new Mapex, donated to the drum set by a guy who he was getting ready to go on tour, and he was getting ready to do a bunch of other stuff, so he couldn't take the drum set with him. He thought he might as well donate it to the church. The church already has a vintage set that they were using. They knew that they were going to never use this drum set, so by default, came to me. Now what's interesting is this church was a church that my friend, his name was Jamil, his mother, actually it was his father was the pastor of it, but his mother was some sort of a, what would you call them, trustee or something like that. So they had the authority as to whether they were going to give me this drum set, when they were going to give it to me, or if they weren't going to give it to me at all. My mom was the one that let me know that the drum set was there and available. And it literally, when I told him I was going to get that drum set, my mother just happens to tell me the day after that I told him I was going to get a drum set. She tells me the day after, hey Michael, there's a drum set. She just calls me up and tells me there's a drum set at the church that some guy just donated. Do I want it? Do I ever? Sure, yeah, I want it. And so at this point, my apartment's filling up with all this stuff. I am getting the TVs are coming in. I'm getting the bed supplied to me, the couches, the chairs, the dressers, you name it, it's all coming. And my first apprentice is just sitting there going, what the heck? All the way down again to the drum set, and he's just sitting there, he's like, how? And I told him, I was like, this is all about manifestation. It's all about the act of visualization. And in my head, this was something that I didn't have to pay back at the time. And like I said, this was years and years and years ago. And so again, my friend, his name is Jamil. This guy is in perfect health. We had been playing basketball that week, or actually the week before, excuse me. And I had seen him plenty of times. He was a friend that I often hung out with. My brother hung out with him as well, who also is no longer here. Well, the day after they give me the drum set, it's handed over to me. It's mine. Tags, everything. I get it home. It's beautiful black Mapex set. I'm celebrating it with my apprentice. My apprentice is just freaking blown away that this happened. And Jamil dies. Now this kid had nothing wrong with him. He was about 28 or 29 years old. He was in really good health, really good shape. No one, and understand this, as soon as I got that set, and remember the set comes from his parents' church, okay? I'm friends with him. Day after I get that set, gone. And believe me, I 100% knew that the situation was connected. And I realized, after looking at all the stuff, and I will keep that set forever because I realized it was paid for by Jamil's energy, his life. Gone. And it was at that point that the realization came full force, which was, I got all of that for absolutely free. Most people never get anything, even remotely, anything like that amount of money that it would have taken to fill up my apartment like that with brand new stuff, as well as a brand new drum set, and get it for absolutely free. That was a $5,000 drum set. And Jamil is now dead. So it became extremely apparent that something doesn't come for nothing. You have to pay for it. And what the law of attraction, the law of one, or whatever those things, the secret, what they don't tell you is if you don't put your energy into it, if you don't put your time, your effort, it's going to come from somewhere else. And that's not something that is just, relegated to me and me only. That is a fact of life across the board. You get something, you're going to pay for it. Soul energy is currency just like anything else. As a matter of fact, it's the main currency. We sit and spend our money on a day-to-day basis, you know, either through our debit cards or through cash and whatnot. We don't really think about what that means and what is attached to us, okay? And when we buy things, we really don't think about what that means, because it's just to us a transaction, purchase and a sale. But that's not all that it is, obviously. And when you are manifesting and you are out there just bringing things to you just for the fun of it, you better understand that there's a cost attached. And this is the thing that I want to make sure that people understand, because as a teacher, if I don't put that warning out there, then I am not being a good teacher. I'm being a worse than a charlatan.
Yeah.
Because I'm setting you up to fail. I'm setting you up to be taken advantage of. What do you think?
I would definitely agree. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of systems out there that teach certain principles, but they don't teach things 100%. So like you're talking about, the New Age movement does a lot of things to cater to the ego rather than to the soul. So people want, you know, a partner, people want physical things, people want a job, people want a car. And so they do these New Age practices that, you know, it's egotistical. So you want something and you get it through visualization, through, you know, the law of attraction, without doing the work. But how this place works is there's a balancing act. And so if you get something for free, like Michael said and shared the story, there's a payment. And as far as your own life, like, you don't know when that payment's going to come. You don't know how it's going to come. And I think that's something too that a lot of people don't think about. Like all these rich people, like, you know, for them to be as rich as they are, billionaires, you know, some of them have, most of them probably have done some dirty work or have had to deal with consequences for their actions.
A lot of blood, death and blood on their hands.
Yep.
That they may not even be aware of.
Right, exactly. And that's something too, it's like, money is a form of exchange, energetic exchange. And people think, oh, I want to be rich so I can do this and I can do that, but a lot of it is for selfish reasons. It's not for, you know, to better humanity, which is something I wish a lot of elites would actually, or a lot of, you know, billionaires, whatever, would actually do, is take their money for the betterment of society.
And not just to write it off on their taxes.
Right, exactly. Because that's just selfish in and by itself, is not to pay taxes on your millions and billions while we have, you know, tax hikes, and most of the money that we make is taken from us for things that we don't agree with. But as far as, you know, this video and manifestation, you always have to be conscious of what you're doing, because if you're manifesting something for a selfish reason,
it's only going to work to your detriment.
Right, and that's not building your soul. It's actually taking from it. Because these possessions, these things that we want, possessions, they possess you. You're attached to them energetically, emotionally. You know.
Fight Club says that the things you own end up owning you.
Yep. And so, you know, some people think that like having less things makes life easier. It's less to worry about, in my opinion, too. But I think we should only have, to some degree, what's necessary, what we need. You know, I'd love to live in an extravagant mansion with a pool, and, you know, I would prefer land to grow food on and preserve and keep from being developed. But if one day I become a millionaire, multimillionaire, you know, I'm going to have certain things set up where I'm going to donate, so I don't have to hoard my money and be like, oh, if I lose it, you know, that's the end of me. Yeah, just keep that all in mind. And I mean, I did New Age stuff for a while. And I think some of it too is like, if you need something, absolutely need something, like a job, you know, do the work, don't worry about it. I think that's something too that prevents us from receiving, is if we worry about things too much.
There it
But
is.
if it's not necessary for your life, you don't need it. Want, desire, and what's necessary are two different things. But I think I've reiterated things enough.
All right, guys. So just know that you'll be doing yourself a disservice, okay, if you're one of those types of people that just go with what the New Age tells you.
Yep.
There's no such thing as getting anything just for nothing.
Just
Okay.
for free. Nothing is ever free.
So,
Yep.
bye.